Hi, I'm Brooke Bach. I'm a member of the 2016 ICE Resin Design team. Join me today as I show you how to make these power rings using your favorite power words. Let me show you what we're going to need today to go ahead and make these power word rings. First thing you're going to need is some Sculpey Primo clay. I got the granite. I actually used up the whole package and made little balls out of clay and then pressed a marble into it and used my fingers to pull the clay up around the marble. I made multiples. I always like to make extras just in case something goes wrong in the process. Plus I like to change things up. After you make your little clay bezels, go ahead and cook them in a toaster oven, set according to the manufacturer's directions for the amount of time they recommend. Mine actually lives on the back porch, so I cook those and then I'm good to go. You're going to need a little bit of reindeer moss. You're going to need a page from a discarded book. From that page, you're going to use a pair of scissors to cut some words that are meaningful to you. Power words can be anything that excites you or bring you courage whenever you're feeling a little bit down. I picked some things from the page that I worked on that brought me joy. I'm going to cut those out. If you want, you can seal them with a SLK paper sealer. I did not this time because I sort of like the transparent look and didn't want it to be opaque. You're also going to need some rebar wire. This is actually what's left of a roll when it comes. It's a very large roll. It's really heavy duty. You can get that at the hardware store or Lowe's. To use that, you're also going to need some pretty heavy duty side cutters and some needle nose pliers. I don't use my jewelry quality tools for this. I use my heavy duty tools for this. You're also going to need a ring mandrel so you can size the ring to your size. For the relique powder, I use the ICE Enamels turquoise and then the medium to make sure to paint it on, and a nice little paintbrush to put it on my piece. Of course, you're going to need your ice resin. Because these bezels use such a small bit of resin, the syringe is a good option, or you can mix up extra to use in other projects. Because I'm using the syringe and it's all pre-measured, I'm just going to use a paper Dixie cup and a stir stick. I also need some toothpicks, and then these are just a couple of the extras that I made to play around and make sure that the process works. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bezel that's already baked. You're going to use your paintbrush to get a little bit of the medium on it, and you're going to paint it wherever you want on your bezel. I didn't want to cover the whole thing. I just wanted to do a little bit on the top. So I will say, when I did my samples, I had it so that it was down into the cup, but it's really hard when you heat it. And after that, I just cheat and stick it right in my little cup here. Knock all the extra off gently. Tap it off. Make sure I'm not wasting any. Take a second to put my lid back on. Last thing you want is an unfortunate accident with a spill. Okay, and right on my heat mat, I'm going to go ahead and use my heat gun. Once that's all melted, we'll give it a minute to cool off. I already mixed my resin and it's been sitting at 5 minutes. I'm going to take a little bit of this resin and put it into another cup, and you'll see why in a minute. I don't want to contaminate the resin that I'm going to use for the bezel, but I want to take my little bit of reindeer moss and I'm going to use this to go ahead and get some resin on it to try to cut down on the air bubbles and such. Actually works better if you use the toothpick. So I'm going to mix it around in the resin to make sure that it's coated. And then I'm going to set that into my bezel cup there, wherever I want it. And the next step is to scrape my resin, dribble it carefully into the cup. I'm going to want to cover the moss. Just going to scrape as much as I can out of here. Oops. I'm going to try to turn my cup to make sure that I'm as level as I can be. And I don't want it to spill out. And then this actually helps. I'm going to choose my power word from over here. This time I think I'm going to do fiercely. Since I have a little bit of resin on there, the fact that I can use it to touch it and bring it over. And then I'm just going to sandwich that down into my bezel. Okay. I'm just going to use the toothpick to put it exactly where I want it. And then I need to set that in a place where there's no dust and it can cure for anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 hours, depending. And of course you can finish these rings up with a little bit of wire. I used some more of the iced enamels and the heat gun to add a little bit to the wire on the outside. You can also take your ring and turn it into a necklace by taking the part that you would put on your finger and bending it up and then just running some silk through it. And that'll give you a nice pendant rather than a ring if that's what you prefer. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to check out my blog at www.artisticendeavor101.blogspot.com. Also, check out the iceresin.com for more mixed media projects and rangerinc.com to purchase ice resin. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.